what's up to all of my Taurus. So please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The link will be in the description box below as usual. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share the video. If you'd like to contact me for personal reading, my email address as well as the prices are in the description box below. I am available to do readings today. Contact me. Why not? Come get your reading. So let's get into this right here for the Taurus. So the cards that I come up with are the Page of Cups, the Death card, the Sun, High Priestess, Five of Cups, Two of Cups. Wow, okay. Four of Swords, right? The Three of Rods. So what I'm seeing here so far is the Page of Cups, the Death card, the Sun card, right? Switch things up on y'all. Is about how it is that a lot of you Taurus, for a little while, the Page of Cups, for a little while, you were a little bit delusional about ending some sort of relationship with someone. You knew that you should have ended things with them for a little while now, but you didn't necessarily get around to doing it. The Death card, you finally, you finally mustered up the guts, right? The Death and the Sun card, you finally just came out and told your partner that you don't want to be with them anymore. You don't want to interact with them anymore. And the High Priestess and the Five of Cups is about how you and this person is like not going back and forth in some sort of argument per se, but it's more so about the two of you trying to gain understanding as to why you would essentially want to end things right now, right? Because they don't want you, right? The Five of Cups, they don't want you to leave. But the thing is that a lot of you Taurians may be growing, a lot of you Taurians is changing. Maybe it was something that they wasn't necessarily doing, but whatever the reason is, the Two of Cups is about how the two of you come to find out it's mutual in the sense that the other person wishes that you can stay, but the Two of Cups represents how they respect your decision if you want to leave. If that's what it is that you want to do, they most definitely respect your decision. And then the Four of Swords and the Three of Wands represents they hope to see you one day, right? The Three of Wands, they hope to see you another day, and maybe the two of you can link up again, right? Hook up. But the things that the Four of Swords represents how they had just taken, they're just bowing out gracefully in the sense that they respect you Taurians' decisions to actually be able to decide for yourselves that you don't necessarily want them around anymore, right? And it's not, and again, it sounds harsh. It's not a matter of you not wanting them around. What it is that, for whatever the particular reason is that the Sun card is sharing the light, that you're sharing the light on, which is what the Sun card represents. You just don't vibe with this person anymore. And so let's keep going. The Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups. So the Knight of Pentacles, right, and the Eight of Cups is about you finally being able to move forward and actually put that chapter of your life with this person finally behind you. That's very symbolic, Taurus. And then you have the Seven of Swords, you have the Judgment, and then you have the Queen of Rods. The Seven of Swords is about how in this particular reading, this person is bowing out. You know what I mean? And like I said, they want to see you. They would really like to see you another time, right? Some obviously in the future, and interact with y'all again and see if y'all two can link up. But the Judgment and the Queen of Wands represents not necessarily likely, because the Judgment and the Queen of Wands is about you Taurians completely changing yourselves. Reinvention, right? To where the Judgment is about like you Taurians are essentially cutting out anything and anyone that isn't really meaningful to you. And it's essentially this, like, you know how it is that you boil down, how it is that you cooking rice, how you have to wait until the water boils down, right, to below the surface and stuff like this, or you boil the water down enough so that the rice is essentially dry as you're drying as you're cooking it, and that way you can essentially eat it, right? It's done. And the thing is that the Queen of Wands represents how, again, you're not lying to yourselves anymore, Taurus. If you don't see eye to eye with a person, then you're not sticking to them anymore. You're not messing with them anymore. This person, everything has to be meaningful. It has to be worthy. And see, the thing is that the Hermit and the Ten of Swords now, the Hermit and the Ten of Swords, the Hermit represents introspection, and the Ten of Swords represents you kind of clowning yourself a little bit, like look at how much pain and suffering I got to go through before I get to a point where I just muster up the guts to leave situations that aren't working for me, whether they be terrible or whether they just me and this person growing apart. And you Taurians have to learn to be a lot more decisive about that, is what the Hermit and the Ten of Swords is saying. You know what I mean? Stop hanging around individuals whom, real talk, and putting yourselves in situations that you know is going to land you with the short end of the stick, not because it's meaningful on a level where it's self-sacrificing. You're giving up something so that you can become something greater. No, you're giving up something so that you can suffer, and that's just for suffering's sake. You don't want to. I don't suggest you Taurians do that, right? So let's clarify the Ten of Swords, right? What happens after the Ten of Swords? The Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Wands. Yeah, you're done at that. You know, the Queen of Pentacles, you're going to start taking care of yourselves from now on. The Eight of Wands, you're also going to start communicating to other people what it is that you want and need in this relationship, right? Future relationships. And if you don't get it, you will be paying attention and you'll just leave. And that's what Taurus, Cancer, Crabs, and Leo represents, right? And Virgo represents. It represents nourishment, because Taurus is nourishment through food, right? Cancer is nourishment through non-physical means, meaning as well as physical means, but specifically non-physical means, feelings and emotions, figuring out the junk, figuring out how to decipher and how to understand your own inner world. All right. What else did I say? I said Leo represents the confidence and the new level of understanding, the light, right, that the sun gives off, the inner light, the inner ambition, and the inner real pride of the newfound understanding of your emotions / feelings, and how to take care of yourself physically, which is what Taurus represents specifically. And then with Virgo, the Virgo aspect, right, the Hermit aspect represents evolution. So it represents that evolution from going from essentially being loathing of self to now you rising above all that nonsense to where you actually doing things in your life that are meaningful and worthy, and things is coming together for you. Because Virgo represents pause of beauty, but it represents variety. It represents mutability, right? Variety. So it's all about upgrading the quality of your life. Keep that in mind, Taurus, as we go into August. So let's clarify the Hermit. Why not? You have the Hermit, the Fool, the High Priestess. The High Priestess we already got. Serious stuff. To clarify the Hermit, be you, do what it is that you need to do, and stop worrying so much about the damage that it may necessarily be causing to other people. Don't worry about it too much. You will most definitely be all right. Just as long as you don't have the intention on hurting anybody else for spite, you should be fine. But stop letting circumstances and people sway you to a point where you don't want to end up hurting anybody or dumping anybody, because for that sake you don't want to hurt them. You don't interact well with this person anymore. You don't want to be with them. But the reason why is that you won't leave them is not because you want to stay with them, but because you don't want to get them disappointed. Then who ends up losing in this equation? Everyone does, because one person is being lied to, and the other person, is sacrificing, knowing good and well that they don't want to be in this situation. So let's think about that. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Come through and get your reading. Peace.